Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening for today's online workshop, From Surviving to Thriving, How to Become a Recession-Proof Business. And I'm so excited that you are taking the time out of your day to join us to learn some strategies and some practical ways to make sure that your business thrives during this challenging period of time. We've got a lot to get through, so I am going to get straight into it. We've heard the news, things are tight, money is tight. We've seen the headlines. There's a recession coming, inflation is through the roof, interest rates are high, GDP is low. 76% of small to medium enterprises are saying their cash flow will be impacted by this current climate. And I also saw that Xero came out last week saying that nearly 50% of all invoices issued in the last 12 months were paid late, 50%, and that is to small businesses. So we need to make sure we're on top of this, and that's why we're here today, to learn some strategies, take away some valuable insights that you can implement into your own business so that we don't just survive this period of challenging times, we thrive and soar and create the business that we set out to create right at the beginning. So I don't want to dwell on the negatives, but we do need to acknowledge and recognise that right now it is a challenging time. But we've also got to remember that we don't achieve great things unless we're out of our comfort zone. So just think of it like that. We're going to be out of our comfort zones. We're going to be trying new stuff. We're going to be doing things differently. And this is where we will reap those benefits and rewards later on down the track. So I'm Liz Fleming, the founder and CEO of the Grants Club and the Efficiency Coach. I'm a chartered accountant, and I've supported many businesses to transform and grow through strategy sessions and grant readiness so that they are clear about where they're going and have the tools and resources to be able to make those decisions so that they can grow and thrive. I am so passionate about helping businesses to do this. This is exactly why I started my business, got out of the corporate rat race after 15 years of being in finance across a number of industries. And I've taken all those tools, those skills, and those experiences that I've learned along the way to now help small businesses like yourselves so that we can grow and prosper. So what's on for today? I'm going to share with you some strategies that are going to be effective in navigating these challenging times. I'm going to be sharing with you some deep insights so that we can be a thriving business. And of course, there are the financial strategies, because we all know that cash is king when it comes to small business, but how can we really utilize that cash to our benefit to make sure that we are on top of our game and that we can prosper into the future? And then we're going to be thinking about what actions can we implement today in our business. So I hope you've got your pen and paper ready, or you're at your laptop ready to write down all the strategies that we're going to talk about that may be relevant to your business. Now, this is my favorite quote that I share with everybody. Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity. And you have taken tonight's opportunity to be here to learn, to gain some valuable insights, and just, I want you to have the confidence to think about what else can we be doing in our businesses and not just running the same old story through our heads. So that's what we're about. So we're going to start with some practical strategies to help you thrive in business. So for those of you that are on live with me, if you've got any questions, please pop them into the chat. There will be opportunities to ask questions. And of course, if you want to share any insights or interact with the other business owners that are here with us, please do so. But do stay on mute. So let's get into it. So these are practical strategies that are proven to work. Some may be relevant to your business, some may not be. Every business is different and unique, and because we're all unique ourselves. So first of all, it's about building strong customer relationships. And we all know that it's cheaper to sell to an existing customer than to gain new ones. So we need to be thinking about how are we connecting, communicating, and being visible to our existing customer base. And then also thinking about how can we get more customers like that, creating that new audience. So what can you do in your business today to build those stronger customer relationships? How are you showing up on social media? What messaging are you sharing? What are you even sharing? And making sure that we're not just sales, and that we're telling our stories so that we can connect with our ideal customers. Knowing your numbers. Yes, I'm a chartered accountant, but I cannot reiterate this enough when it comes to challenging times. Understanding your expenses, knowing your revenue, and this would allow you to manage your cash flow in a better way and make sure that we really are living by the mantra that cash is king. Understanding your market to create a competitive edge. So this goes back to, why did you start your business? What is it that is unique about your business? What are you doing differently? And really harnessing that competitive edge so that you can stand out from the crowd and people are buying from you. At the end of the day, we want people to be buying your good or service, because that means money in our bank account, and it means we can continue to do what we want to do and really create that life by design. Investing in your business to gain insight and improve that visibility of what you're doing, what's working, what's not working, and what we should be focusing on. And you might think, well, times are challenging. Why are we investing? This is exactly the time we should be investing in our business and ourselves. And just a couple of ideas there. What marketing are you doing? If you're not paying for marketing, how else are you getting leads into your business? You may have other ways, but we really need to be thinking about paid marketing. Having a coach or a mentor as part of your team that you can go and strategize with, brainstorm with, again, is invaluable. And seeking out those professionals, your accountants, your bookkeepers, that are really going to help your business. But also, word of caution, they need to understand your business. So making sure you've got the right team around you to do business. Diversifying your revenue streams. So thinking about, how can we make sure that our eggs are not in one basket? How can we create new income streams? And also, how can we expand our existing income streams? How can we be doing more of what we're already doing? And thinking about who we are targeting. Who is our target audience? And I go against the grain when it comes to niching here a little bit, because we need to be clear about who we're targeting and not necessarily be so focused on it being a 35-year-old female who has 2 kids and drives this kind of car. We need to get realistic about who our target audience is and who we're niching and who our messaging is directed towards. Also, in times of challenging economics times, there will be businesses that want to exit. So there may be the opportunity to acquire other businesses. They might be in your supply chain, they might be a competitor, they might be a supplier. But just thinking about how can you increase your revenue, and acquiring a business may be one way to do it. Strategic collaborations, and I've specifically said strategic collaborations because we need these to be of mutual benefit. They need to make economic sense, and they need to be of benefit to us, both for our benefit and the other party as well. Otherwise, you know, we've got limited time and resources, so we don't want to be wasting our time, but we need to be clear about what those outcomes are that we're trying to achieve, why are we doing it, and making sure that those collaborations also align really well with our values. That is so important when times are tough, because we want to make sure that we're still honoring why we're in business, our purpose, what we want to achieve, and making sure that we're not just grabbing different opportunities because we might be able to make a quick buck, still being able to honor our decision making and always align to our values. And if you don't know what your values are in your business, that's another exercise to work through so that we are absolutely doing what we need to be doing in our business. And I did this recently, asking for Google reviews from recent clients and making it really easy for them. So sending out an email with the link, because we need to increase our visibility. We also need to make sure that other people, potential clients and customers, can see the results that we're getting, how it is to work with us, what we're offering, and that will encourage them to get on board and connect with you. So if you haven't done this for a while and you haven't got too many recent Google reviews, I encourage you to think about sending out an email to your customer database and asking them for reviews. Or if you, well, for any service or good, doing those follow-up emails, giving them the links so that they can do it whenever they like, making sure that you're replying to them on Google. And this is just a really good way for people to easily understand what you're about. So of those practical strategies I've just shared with you then, which ones do you think are right for you? So if you want to share in the chat, what was the one out of those few that I've shared? What went on your list? What are you going to put on your action list? I'd love to hear from anyone that wants to share. And I'm also giving you the opportunity now to ask any questions because I did work through those reasonably quickly. So if anyone's got any questions, please just, again, pop them into the chat. Kate said, reassessing values and diversifying income streams. Absolutely. So, you know, a lot of us have been in business for a while, and even if you're starting out, we need to review, you know, we might, especially during COVID, we sort of were grabbing every opportunity we could get, and we might have ended up with a really wide offering that now doesn't serve us, or we're just stretched too thin. Taking time to sit down and review our numbers, absolutely, and we'll focus more on that later on as well, but it is really, really important to be thinking, how often am I looking at my numbers? And as a minimum, it has to be monthly. So if you're not doing that right now, you absolutely should be. Diversifying revenue streams, absolutely. Thinking about what else can I be doing? And when I talk about diversifying revenue streams, it can be from different target audiences. It can also be how we collect that money. So are we offering a membership? Are we offering subscriptions? Are we offering one-off projects? Like, how is that, how are those revenue streams also affecting our cash flow coming in? And emailing for the Google reviews, absolutely. You've got to invite people to help you out. And, you know, a lot of people are busy. So, you know, they've got the intention of doing it, but they've just got waylaid. So if you send a quick email, I make it quite, you know, personable. Just saying, hey, can you help me out? Just a quick Google review will make all the world of difference. So good to see that they're going to go on to a few people's action lists. So now I'm just going to go through some deep insights to help you thrive. We've got to get out of this mentality of thinking that we're just surviving. And I know that can be really difficult when we've just, you know, had a few years of COVID, and now we're into potentially a recession, and it just seems never ending. So I don't want you to give up. I do want you to take encouragement from tonight's workshop and just focus on a couple of things that you may be able to do in your business. I want you to focus on your core competencies. And this is a bit linked to your income revenue streams as well, because you might have started out your business doing one thing and it's evolved into other service offerings. And I know that's definitely the case for my business. But we also need to be clear about what is the problem we're trying to solve. And this is where a lot of people, especially when they're starting out, they struggle to be able to articulate what is the problem that they're trying to solve for their clients that people are willing to part with. So thinking about what's your core competency, everything you're offering should relate back to that core competency. And then you may have multiple problems that you are trying to solve with the offerings that you've got. Offering value, and Sky, you've also commented that you're looking at ways of adding more value and selling to current members while also marketing to new members. So that sounds like a great strategy. So we need to be offering value to encourage customer loyalty. So that means to our existing customer base, and at the same time attracting new business as well. So again, linking back to what problem are they really wanting to be solved, and talking to that as well, and making sure our messaging is resonating with that customer base and talking in their language so that they fully understand and they can relate. I want you to think about how can we be adaptive and how can we innovate while being dynamic and agile in the business space. During COVID, things moved pretty quickly. And I think we're all got a bit of a fatigue and pivoting and changing. But I really want you to think about, how can we simplistically think about things differently? Is there just one thing we can be a bit innovative about and do differently? It is an employees market right now. There are way too many vacant jobs. There's not many people out of work. So you need to be focusing on retaining your staff through employee engagement, training, so that they can improve their skills and productivity, remain engaged. And this can also just be as simple as taking them out for coffee once a week or once a month, or bringing donuts in for your team meeting. It doesn't mean that you have to send them off to a conference in Sydney or, anything big like that or expensive, but investing in them and also asking, what is it they want to be doing? What are their career aspirations? What is it that would make them stay or continue to work for you? And embracing a long-term vision while not just be focused on the short term. And how I like to think about this is, we've got a long-term vision. What is that? Is it a revenue goal? Is it to work X amount of hours? It's going to be different for everybody. And what we need to do is break that long-term vision into short-term chunks to achieve today, this month, next month. And sometimes those short-term tasks may not be pretty or may be really challenging, but you've got to think, well, I'm ultimately wanting to achieve my long-term vision, so this is what I've got to do. It really is a mindset thing, and it does come back to what's in that strategy. How are you keeping yourself accountable? How are you ticking off those tasks, breaking it all down? But I always say, every strategy has to have a long-term vision with a short-term focus as well. We need to be looking at our pricing strategy. So what are competitors doing? We don't want to price ourselves out of the market. We don't want to end up at break even or a loss leader. But we also need to remain competitive. So do a bit of research. Also ask your customers, what is it that they value with what you're doing? Is it your quality? Is it your pricing? But making sure that we understand our numbers, we understand our cost of goods sold, so that we are pricing optimally for our business. We need to make sure we're maintaining a positive mindset. Now, here I am assuming that everyone's got a positive mindset, but it is absolutely crucial to becoming recession-proof. It's becoming resilient and having that solutions focus rather than being problem focused and having a negative mindset. And I don't mean to say that that means that every day is happy la la and we're, a box of beans. I absolutely get that. But the majority of the time, we need to tackle those challenges that come our way with a positive mindset and a solutions focus, and we will be much better for it. And this leads directly into being proactive with your communication and being honest with yourself and others. Now, this is around managing expectations. This is around preempting what challenges and issues may come up, because we've already got enough external challenges that are impacting us. And so what I'm talking about here is, if we know we've got to put our prices up because our inputs and costs have gone up, then, sending out an email saying in a month's time, the prices are going to go up, but you've got a month to take advantage of the current price. If your postage has gone up and you're finally putting your prices up, again, you can do that. You can give them, 3, 4 weeks, 2 weeks notice. And they say that an increase less than 10%, most people are okay with it. So again, if you need to put your prices up by more than 10%, you need to have a very clear communication plan of how you're going to let your customers know. And this comes back to the very first point that I shared around building those relationships with your customers so that they trust you, they know you and like you, and they can be knowing that you've absolutely done your best to hold off on those price increases, as an example. And investing in marketing and advertising in a focused and strategic way. And I know there's a few of you online that specialize here, that if we are investing in the right marketing and the right advertising for your target audience, you can get some really great results and it will absolutely pay off. I see way too many businesses, especially at the moment, that are complaining that they're not making any sales, that they've shared their website on social media and they're not getting any sales. And it just means that they're not investing in the right marketing in a focused and strategic way. So there is so much to this space, and it's not my specialty, but there are other people out there that specialize in this, and we need to be investing in that all the time. A lot of us have been in business for maybe, upwards of 5 years, and we probably haven't seen, apart from COVID, a recession or these challenging downturns. But we do need to look, back a few years and analyze what similar businesses did to navigate these challenges. Don't go and reinvent the wheel. Think about what other businesses are doing. Even look around now and see what other businesses are doing, and can we adopt some of those same methods to our own business. Now, improving your operational efficiency to improve your bottom line is absolutely key. And what I'm talking about here is saving time and saving money so that we can create a leaner business model to make it easier for us to operate. So out of those deep insights that I've just shared with you, if you want to pop into the chat, what was the one or two that really resonated with you that have gone onto your action list that you're going to look into to implement into your business over the next little while? There was a few goodies in there. And as I say, every business is different. Everyone's had different experiences. People have different specialties. And some people, have the marketing sorted, but the finance not so much. Or some people have their finances sorted, but don't know where to start with marketing. Other people have a great website, but they don't know how to market their website. Other people have great products and don't know what problems they actually solve. So getting really clear on the problems that I solve. And this is another thing when it allows you to streamline what you do and don't do, because we can't be for everybody. We can't, we've got limited time and resources. So not everybody is an ideal client. So sometimes we are going to be saying no. And what's Kate saying? I'm looking at operational efficiencies and how I can offer lower price packages to cater to a wider market. Absolutely. So, spreading out, but making sure that it still works for you, reducing your costs so you can reduce your pricing, so that can allow the opportunities for more people to have visibility on their website. That's great. Does anyone have any questions on any of those? I think it is really important to get clear about the problems you solve. Always be asking yourself, what problem am I trying to solve? And if you can't answer that, then you need to go back to the drawing board and work it out. Some people are saying they're currently investing in marketing strategies. That's great. And some people are communicating their value and their point of difference that make our business great. So you've got to think about in your messaging, why do we stand out? Why should people buy from you? Because there will be competitors, there'll be a whole lot of choice, and what is your point of difference and your uniqueness? So now this is my favorite part, of course, the financial strategies to support your business. And I know some of you are thinking, oh, this is going to be boring, but I just want that I've made them really simple so that hopefully there's a couple in there at least that you're probably not doing that are going to make a massive difference to your business. Analyzing the profitability of your goods and services on offer. What I mean by this is, what is it costing you to produce your goods or producing your service? And I know for our service businesses, we think, oh, it's just our time, but we need to match what we're charging to, an approximate hourly rate so that we are in the ballpark. I know a lot of us do packages and that's fine, but overall we want to make sure that we can, one, deliver a good service, and two, provide that value, and also feel like we are making an impact in our business as well. So if you don't know what your costs are within your business, put that on your action list. Negotiating with your suppliers for better terms or discounts on purchases. I have seen a lot of suppliers lately where they are actually offering a 2% discount if you pay on time. Now that sounds absolutely ludicrous, But if you go back to my first point, nearly 50% of invoices sent out in Xero last year by small businesses were paid late. So now they are incentivizing this. They've worked out that it costs them more than that 2% for a late payment. So they're giving that discount back to you. And it's quite clever because it's not deemed as revenue. So you're paying less tax on it, collecting a little bit less, but at least you're guaranteeing on-time payment. So they are prioritizing their cash flow into their business. It's a smart move. Enhancing cash flow management to improve working capital. So are your financial records up to date and accurate? And you will see with most of these financial strategies that I'm sharing, they're all interconnected. So when it comes to finance, one thing impacts the other, and you've basically got to end up doing most of these anyway. Now, this is the most important one. If you don't take anything else away from this workshop, I want you to listen up now. If you have clients and customers that pay on account, meaning you send them an invoice that's due 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, if there are any overdue payments that you owe to you, meaning money coming in, sales invoices, you need to be following up. So as soon as it is overdue by 2 days, no more, you get on the phone to them. If you don't feel comfortable doing that yourself because you're the deliverer, get someone else to do it. Get your friend to ring up to say, I'm ringing up on behalf of this business, just wondering where your payment is. So don't be afraid to follow up. They might have forgotten, it might have got missed, it might not have got emailed. There's a whole heap of reasons. They might also have cash flow issues as well. So, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt, but follow up and ask for the payment. If we don't have money in our bank account, we're going to go broke real quick. Monitoring and controlling your inventory levels if you have inventory, if you're a product based business, because you are tying up money in that inventory sitting in a warehouse somewhere. So if it's not moving quickly, pop it, sale on it, just get it out and get some money in, and then go and, you know, use that working capital for other expenses, but also look at what you are purchasing and how you're predicting those inventory levels based on sales. Again, it all comes back to maintaining strong relationships with your suppliers, your partners and your banks, your clients, your investors, your collaborators, because when things get tight, we want to be able to, you know, maybe we need to request that we need another week to pay and all that sort of stuff. So the better relationship you've got, the easier that will be, and the more accommodating they will be with you. I want to encourage you to be innovative and creative, thinking outside the box, being unique, doing something different, trying something new, or even trying something you've already tried in the past that you might have stopped doing. Investing in technology. What is going to help you to become more efficient and ultimately reducing those costs over time, or reducing your time spent on manual processes. I know there's some people online that help in this space of technology and helping your business. And it might mean more upfront costs now to get it implemented and set up, but over the long term, you'll be better off. And reviewing, analyzing, and making decisions quickly is so important. And if you've heard of the fail fast, you know, give something a crack, see how it goes. And if it's not working, stop and do something else. In business, we need to take risks to reap the rewards. And if we don't take those risks, we're not going to get the rewards. It's not like working at a job where you go in and do your 5 hours and get paid for 5 hours, whether you do anything or not. With business, we're doing something today that the rewards, you know, are indirectly there. They're not even directly matched to what we're doing today, and they might not even come later on, or they'll come sometime in the future. So it is such a different mind shift, but if we're reviewing, analyzing, and making decisions quickly, we will be much better off. Now, I know we're talking real finance speak here, but your key performance indicators can be whatever you need them to be, financial and non-financial. but I want you to think about, what am I checking in my business on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, and a quarterly basis. We need to be monitoring these KPIs, and we need to be looking at them regularly. So whatever we're tracking and whatever we're focusing on will improve. So this is going to be different for every business, but we do need to be thinking about, what are we looking at daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. And as an absolute minimum, we need to be looking at our financial reports in either Xero or whatever finance system we're in, at least on a monthly basis, and making sure they are completely up to date. So if they're not up to date and you don't like doing it, get a bookkeeper or get someone to help you. And I know we've already talked about this, but there's a reason why it's in there twice. We need to be making sure we're improving our debt management. This will help us for so many reasons. This will get the cash in and also allow us to be able to assess our financial position to help us make decisions. So please do not be afraid to follow up those outstanding or overdue payments. And also, do not send any more goods or spend any more time on those projects until they have paid. And not even when they say, oh, yep, I'll pay it tomorrow. You wait until that money comes into your bank account before you do any more work for them. And if you are regularly got clients that are on accounts, meaning, you send them an invoice on 30-day terms after you've done the work, making sure that you're doing the credit checks for those clients. And also be careful you don't fall into the trap of doing special deals for family and friends. And then they go and tell all their family and friends, and all of a sudden you've got all these people wanting special deals. How I deal with that is, if you're going to do a special deal for a family or friend, then you say to them, I am doing this especially for you. It is a one-off. You can absolutely share my business and the results with your friends, but please don't expect them to get the same deal that you have, because I've done it as a one-off for you. This was really important during COVID, of setting those boundaries and setting those expectations, because if we're doing special deals for everyone, again, we'll go broke real quick. Tax planning, I know it's boring, but what I'm really talking about here is, when you're doing a PAYG or for your payroll, when you are receiving revenue and income into your bank account, put aside some money on a regular basis to meet those tax obligations into your second bank account. So if you haven't got a second business bank account as a business savings, you need to get that first. And then when you're doing the payroll or receiving revenue in, you can transfer some money into that second bank account for your PAYG, your GST and your super, so that when it comes to pay that on a quarterly basis at the end of the quarter, you have some funds in there to use it, and you're not scrambling to pay your tax obligations. The other thing on that I'll just quickly say is, if your BAS is due, lodge it and work out the payments later. Either contact the ATO to get a payment plan, or pay it later, but make sure you lodge it on time. And of course, I couldn't do a workshop when we're talking about recession-proof without talking about grants. However, at this point in time, especially in Australia, the government has absolutely turned off the tap to grants. There are very few grants out there for businesses or anybody. So I am just being really honest about that. We can't rely on them for anything, but we can get ready for grants and work out how they fit into our growth strategy. But we do also need to be quite creative. And I encourage you to still be on the lookout for those grants for your business, because they will be coming back at some point, hopefully really soon. So I've given you a lot of financial strategies there. I'm sure some of you already do some of them. But again, if you can pop into the chat, what of these financial strategies really resonated with you? Have you got outstanding payments that you need to follow up? Do you not have that second bank account? And do you, what are you going to action? What are you going to put on your list? And when I say action, I don't mean to say you've got to do it tomorrow, but it just needs to be on your list so that you've got the confidence to be able to do that in the future. So Sky, you're talking, you've invested in technology. They've just disabled some software and invested in a new app that will give customers more control and made it really easy. So this is reducing their admin time, monthly fees, and giving them more information and taking more access to the customer information. So that is an example of, an upfront investment for a long-term gain in efficiencies and reduced costs. Amy's going to review her pricing, drilling down to the profitability of each of your services. Absolutely. And I know that, we want to help everybody, but, what are our price points? Are we attracting the right people into our business? Are we doing a lot more work when we're charging only $50 for a service when other people are charging more? And we want to be thinking about affordability, but we also want to value our own time as well. So reviewing pricing, it is something you should be doing every sort of 6 months, not from I'm going to increase my prices, but thinking, what does it cost me to deliver that service? And in service-based businesses, yes, it's our time, but it's our subscriptions, it's our conferences, it's our workshops, it's our business coaching we're paying for, it's our website costs. All of those add up really, really quickly. And all of a sudden, it's not just our time that is the cost of delivering those services. Jan's saying she's going to review the profitability and negotiate discounts on purchases. And also, if you don't ask, you don't get. Anne's going to check the bottom line. She's got a new revenue stream, but the margin is very slim. So making sure that we're paying attention to the right thing. And, there might be reasons why we do take on a revenue stream with a low margin or even a loss leader. If it means that it's going to bring in other services to those same existing clients. So sometimes you have to take a loss over here to have a gain over here. But again, that all comes down to strategy. And she managed to get 8% off of paying suppliers up front. Yippee. So that's awesome. So if you're managing your cash flow that you can do that, there can be some real savings to be had by paying up front, offering other discounts so that people are paying you up front. And it is really a bit of a domino effect. If you've got good cash flow, you have more options in how you can manage that cash flow. So thank you so much for sharing all those examples, and good to hear that people are using some of these strategies already. If anyone's got any questions, please do pop them into the chat. I'm really enjoying hearing about what people are resonating with and what they're going to action as well. So now we're going to look at some really focusing on what can we action? What can we put onto our action list? And I'm just sharing with you some really practical tools and tips that you can implement quite easily. So let's go. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Maintaining a strong financial management, keeping your records up to date, and working together with your bookkeeper and your accountant or your business coach, making sure that someone else that has that professional knowledge is helping you understand where you are financially. Networking, collaborations are so important, but also be really selective around who you are surrounding yourself with. And we want to make sure that we are working with other business owners who have that positive mindset, are taking action, and also want to grow our business. There's no time for negative Nellies around here anymore. Now, this is an exercise that I have been doing for a while now, and in the last workshop, people were talking about how they were going to do this every Monday. So it's an accountability thing to yourself of reviewing, what can I stop doing? What's just not working? What can I keep doing? What is working? And what can I start doing? What am I going to change? So it is a really good way to be thinking about, even on a weekly basis, because these things can be really little. It can be, for me, it should be stop doing my own zero bookkeeping, and whether I do that or not is a different story. But then it can be, well, maybe I could start looking to outsource that to somebody. So they can be very little things or they can be big things. That's totally up to you. But this is a really effective way to keep yourself accountable. Celebrating the successes. It's really easy to get into that cycle of achieving something and then moving on to the next thing. But we do need to be stopping and celebrating, and even those really little wins. And I know some of us are in a few coaching groups where we are encouraged to celebrate those wins, and it is a really good feel-good moment because you're sharing in other people's successes, and you can also stop and, especially when we're working on our own, to go, oh yeah, what was a success for this week? And when we're looking for them, we will find them. And as I said before, this can be really little. It can be taking yourself out for coffee or lunch, be taking your team out, but just stopping and celebrating that success. I know in one of the coaching groups that I'm in, most Fridays there'll be a post, an opportunity on the Facebook group to celebrate your success. And so every Friday it does make me stop and think, oh, what happened this week? What am I proud of? And, you know, even if I stop for that moment to write it in the Facebook group, sometimes that's all I get, but at least I have stopped and acknowledged it to myself. Building resilience is an ongoing process. So I don't want you to think, oh my God, I've got to do all this tomorrow or next week, but it's having an awareness of the things and the strategies that you can be doing and putting an action plan together to start tracking your progress and making small steps towards it. And making sure we focus on what works for you and your business. So don't be tempted by all the shiny things. Don't be tempted to copy other people just because that's what they're doing. Focus on what works for you and your business. And work out what you could effectively outsource. And what I mean by effectively, don't just outsource all the shit jobs that you hate doing, but some of those jobs you need to do yourself. But also, if you don't have a bookkeeper and you hate doing your zero, that's probably a good place to start. Staying accountable, tracking your progress so you keep on track. So do you have a business buddy you can check in with each week? Do you have a business coach you can check in with each week? Your partner, it doesn't matter who it is, but how are you keeping yourself accountable? And don't say you're just keeping yourself accountable to yourself, because that definitely doesn't work. Developing your emotional intelligence, and this is going to lead to improved communication, having that problem-solving lens, and being really aware of our decision-making process as well. Keeping things simple. We don't need to overcomplicate things when it's challenging. We've already got enough stresses. We've already got enough external stuff going on. Our minds are cluttered. So if we remember to keep things simple, only saying yes to things that align with our values, and doing things your way. There's no right or wrong way in business. It's all about taking a risk, seeing what resonates, seeing what works, and continuing on that journey. So I've just listed here a few tools that you should have some of these in your business in some shape or form. So having a finance system will save you money down the track. Having a CRM system will save you money down the track, because you'll be able to have your customer database. You'll have those email addresses. You can send them emails. You can connect with them. You can be visible to them. Google Analytics and understanding your website stats is really important. Email marketing and having a payment platform or an e-commerce platform that it makes it easy for your customers and clients to connect with you and to pay you and to give you money. So, you know, how many steps does it take for a customer to buy something from you? I want you to think about strategizing, focusing, implementing, and then transforming into a recession-proof business. Here is my 7 quick actionable steps. I know we've covered a lot of content today, but these really sum up the main focuses that we should be looking at to become recession-proof. So thinking about how can we diversify the income, and diversifying the income can also mean actually focusing on less revenue streams rather than be spread out as well. So that can mean a couple of things. Building your customer base and maintaining your existing customer base is really important. Streamlining those processes. What can we outsource? What can we automate? What technology do we need in our business? What can we really stop doing? cutting those unnecessary expenses, and I want everybody to at least review their subscriptions, because I bet there are people out there that have signed up for stuff for $10 a month about 3 years ago, and they're not looking at it. That direct debit keeps coming out, and we just haven't unsubscribed or cancelled it. Reducing debt and liabilities. Now, debt and liabilities are a good thing in business, but we want to make sure that we can afford them and that they are for the right things in our business. Being focused on agility and innovation, and thinking about what are we investing in our business, and that could be time or money to get it to grow. So I want you to be more strategic and deliberate with your decisions, and thinking about what is your decision-making process. So if you can pop into the chat now, what is the one action that you are absolutely going to commit to today? If I bumped into you down the street next week or next month, you could confidently say, I gave that a crack. I'm going to try and implement that in my business. If you can write that in the chat now, I'd love to hear what your one action is. Hopefully you've written a few actions on your paper, but if you can share, if you want to share what that one action would be. Diversifying income, good one, Kate. I can think of a few ways that you could do that. Amy, reassessing my services. Yep, absolutely. I love when people are on my workshop that I know who they are and I know their businesses. Yes. So when we're reassessing our services, we want to be really streamlined, and we want to group them into who's our target audiences. Anne's going to revisit our pricing strategies and know the bottom line. So that real financial focus. Well done. So, you know, everybody is different. Everyone's at different stages of their business. The aim of this workshop is to encourage you to think about things differently. And I always want you to be on the lookout for new opportunities that may ignite your business. And, you know, it's opportunities to allow us to grow, to collaborate, to diversify our income, and be talking about what we're doing in our business as well. There's also some resources that are out there that sometimes get overlooked, and they can be absolutely gold in when we're trying to navigate these challenging times. Sometimes it's just sharing your experiences or hearing similar experience from other business owners that you're like, cool, I'm not the only one, it's not the end of the world. So connecting with your local council, connecting with your business Facebook groups, local networking groups, either face-to-face or online, looking for some freebies. There are so, you know, everyone's got a freebie as a lead magnet, so you might as well take advantage of them. Mentorships and masterminds are a great way to learn from other like-minded businesses, have a coach on board, and really supercharge your business. And looking at business books and also listening to podcasts. They're the ways and the resources that I also utilize to help me with my business. So some of you have asked how we can work together, and I've talked a lot tonight about these strategies, and that is my one belief, that when it comes to growing your business, navigating challenging times, you have to have a really watertight strategy and know where we are going. So I've got a special offer for those action takers that are in the workshop or for those on the recording to book in a 3-hour intensive strategy and brainstorming session with me. So we do it online. You'll end up with an action plan with clarity. So if you've got a million ideas in your head right now around, what do I do? I could do that. I don't know what I'm doing. And you just want some accountability and just to really, truly brainstorm. It's my favorite sessions that I do with my clients. So this is why I'm offering them to you today. You will, for the 30 days after your session, you'll get online support. And also over those 30 days, there will be accountability. I will be checking in with you to see how you are going. And at the end of that 30 days, there will be a 30-minute check-in. So Erica is going to put the link into the chat to be able to check out this offer. It is $1,500. I do have limited availability, sorry, but this offer does end tonight at 11:59 for those that are online. The ones that are online, you've actually got till tomorrow because the recording goes out tomorrow. So secure your support now. If you book and pay now, you've got 3 months to be able to take that session. There's the link in the chat. If someone can just click on the link to see that it's working. I'm always nervous when we're sharing links across Zoom. If someone can click on that, that'd be amazing. And as a special bonus for those that book today, there's an extra workbook that I'm just finalizing now. And you also, at the end of the month, you will also get an extra 1 hour follow-up strategy session that we can use to plan the next few months in your business as well. Thanks, Sky, that link is working. So if you are interested in that, I would absolutely love to work with any of you. Strategy is where it's at, and quite often we have all these ideas, but we need to make sure they're going to make economic sense. They're back to our target audience. They're aligning with our values. So a 3-hour session can go really fast, but we can get a lot done and we can really come out with a clear action plan. And over the last few months, some clients have had some real aha moments. They've come in thinking, you know, preconceived ideas of what that outcome might be, and we've gone off in a completely different direction, and they've got real clarity over where they need to take their business. So what else is coming up? So I did promise, if you're in the room right now, you go in to win a 1 hour session with me. And so I've picked a random number. And so if you are in the participants list right now, and I'll do my counting thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the winner is of the 1 hour session with me is, drumroll please, Kate Britton. You are number 5 on my list. So congratulations, you have won a 1 hour strategy session with me on Zoom. So I can't wait to work with you. And I suppose we'll be talking about diversifying income streams. So congratulations. And that's a wee bonus for jumping on live. I've also got my fortnightly webinar specifically about grants and writing successful grant applications every fortnight. 7 steps to successful grant writing, and Erica is just going to put the link into the chat there as well. I know some of you have already joined online for that, but I still just love sharing that knowledge with other people as well. And I have already worked out what the next webinar or what workshop's going to be on Wednesday, the 18th of October. Having been a risk manager in a couple of corporate organizations, I feel that it is one area, a bit like finance, that small business owners, some can be really risk averse. So they need the confidence, they need the knowledge of how our fear of risk can really impact our business resilience, and it can also impact where we take our business. So the next online workshop is completely free, Wednesday, the 18th of October. Again, I will do it at 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. And because you've been registered for this workshop, I will email you the details once I've got the Eventbrite all set up. But save the date, put that into your diaries now, and I'd love to see you there as well. So if anyone's got any questions, please pop them into the chat. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching if you're watching the recording. I really do love doing these workshops and sharing this information, these strategies, and just giving people the confidence to think a bit differently in your business. And if you don't already follow us, we are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. YouTube, the recording will go up there as well in the next couple of days. So if you've got any business owners that you think would benefit from this workshop, please be sure to share that link with you. You'll all get the links emailed as well. If you do want to connect or have a chat about grants or your strategy or what's next for you, feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, have a good night and I'll talk to you soon.